Hey YouTube, after posting my 2012 firework stash, I thought it'd be nice to do a videotape of all the stuff I use to put on a fireworks show. Maybe it might spark some interesting things for you guys to use. Really all this stuff is to make the fireworks safe to use. And here I have just tarps, stuff like that. I have 4 tarps. Or if it looks cloudy, then you know you want to cover up your fireworks. Plus, we also use aluminum foil on the mortars. In these boxes here, I have miscellaneous safety fuse. This fuse right here burns really slow, and there's not a lot of spark to it, so I don't really like to use that. That was a mistake to buy. Here I have quite a bit of I believe this is 30 seconds per foot fuse. This is nice, if you want stuff to go off pretty slow. Here I have 4 seconds per foot fuse. Or I'm sorry, 0.4 seconds per foot. So this stuff burns really quick. It's kind of like that gray wick, but it's actually, it's pretty sturdy stuff. It's pretty thick stuff. So it's kind of like that really fast gray fuse, and that's what it is. It's gray fuse, but it's not as flimsy as gray fuse. It's actually the quickest. I believe it's the quickest thing compared to quick match that you can get consumer. Works really well. See, I have 10 seconds per foot fuse. And they got this from Big. You can see perfect fuse. That works really well. It I use it when you want things to go off fairly quick, but not so quick it's almost all together. So, and then the last one is just another mix match fuse. So can never use too much fuse. The more you use, the more I think the better, the safer you are, the more fuse you use. Here we used to do zip ties. I got these zip ties, and really if you buy this assortment, zip tying fuse, you're only going to use the really small ones, and if you don't use these, then they go to waste. So I don't recommend buying the assortment zip ties. If you can find the really small ones, I believe you can go to like Home Depot or Menards or something. They have those really small ones. We use tape now. We found that tape is easier to use. It's less time consuming, especially when you have 240 mortars to tie in and 80 cakes. This fuse, or this tape, it's boxing tape. You buy it at U-Haul. IPG. It's really good to use. Fireworks, Display Fireworks 1 does a really good review on this if you want to look him up. But there's firework tape out there, but that's more pricey than what these are. I forget how much I paid per roll, but like I did my whole last year's show, which just, you know, what's left over. What you see here is what's left over out of the tape that I used for last year's show. And you know, it comes brand new this size. So you know, if you use tape, you're gonna use quite a bit, but you know, you could get by. It depends on how big of a show you use. You know, you could get by with just buying a roll. Other things I use, you know, stakes. When you have boards, these are pretty cheap. You can get them at Dick's Sporting Goods. Really cheap aluminum, but it does the job. You know, if you want to tie down your boards or finale racks or mortar tube racks, these are really good to use. Just simple tent stakes. And then you have box cutters. We like to, like many, we like to cut the top off of the cakes. It saves for less cleanup. And scissors. And we used to do quite a bit of hand lighting, and you know, I have these just for, you know, if we have any fireworks that don't go off because of a missed fuse, or you know, in case, you know, a cue doesn't light, you know, we have these. I got this at I believe it was Lowe's. They run off of what looks like you know, cigarette lighter, but what's in here is like butane, and it works pretty good. You got a nice flame there, so it works really good. It really uses, you know, really does what we want it to do. And then I have, you know, wire cutters, and last year I used some of this fuse connects. It works, I mean, it's pretty nice to use. Taping does the same thing. If you can look on the display there, hopefully it, yeah, there we go. So you see how, you know, you tie in, you have a continuous fuse, and then you have your cake fuse come up and tie it in. I'll get one out here. So you have your fuse. You know, you can have your continuous fuse go up through this way, you know, long ways like that, and then your firework fuse come in on this part right here, and then you close it up like that, and what it does is the fuse will burn through and it'll ignite, it'll add flame to the very tip inside here. I mean, it's a really good concept. They work pretty good. If you know, they're really easy to install, but honestly taping does, you know, pretty much the same thing. Plus also, I think taping, if you tape, then you get that sealed pocket that, you know, not a lot of gases will escape, and it'll, I mean, I think the burn in the pocket that the tape, when you tape it, it seals it pretty good. We use electronic firing systems. I made one. Maybe I'll post a video on it. Maybe I won't, I don't know. But we use electronic firing systems. We also have a 12Q wireless firing system, and I have a homemade wire firing system. So, you know, this is, you can buy a, I have a spool here. This is like 1,600 feet of shooting wire. That can get pretty expensive. I got mine, I believe it was not a normal, not a typical firework website you'd go to. I forget where I got it from. It ended up costing me about $80, and then you had shipping and handling, of course. I think that was like $25 or $30. So all in all, you know, this cost me 120 some, $130 after taxes. So and here you have the electronic firing tips to use. You know, all you gotta do is cut out, or I made a 500-foot section right here, so you take 500 feet of shooting wire from the Fireworks to your system, and then at the end of the Fireworks, or at the end, the opposite end of your firing system, you tie in this to your Firework fuse, and there you have a little nichrome wire. So when you add current to this, then it goes through and it shorts out that little nichrome wire in there, and you get a pretty big burn going on for, you know, about a second or a second or two. So I mean, that's as safe as you can get, you know. Electronic firing system, really nice to use. The only negative to it is you're really reliant on that little wire igniting the fuse. If that doesn't happen, then, you know, you lit off your cue, and once that burns, that's it. That tip, you know, you use them once and you throw them away. So once that little nichrome wire burns up, that's it. If it lights your fuse, it lights it. If it doesn't, then you're going up there and hand lighting it. So that's the only thing with using these wires is, you know, you're just reliant on it lighting that fuse that one time. So you always have to make sure, you know, you have a good connection with your fuses. And this is leftover bottle rockets. So that's what I use to make my Fireworks, you know, as safe can be. Anytime you're messing around with pyrotechnics, there's always a level of danger. So you know, it'd be best to try to minimize that danger as best you can. All right, enjoy. Bye.